What Is It Wednesday, presented by the Danbury Library. Each time we meet, we'll look at an interesting find from nature and see if we can guess what it is. This week, we're looking at this strange thing here. Can you see that? It's really weird looking, huh? Wow, this thing is actually kind of heavy. It's heavier than it looks like it would be. And whatever material it's made out of, it's smooth for the most part, but there are some rough, prickly areas. Can you see that? Yeah. And we can see that it sticks out. There's all these pointy bits that are popping out all over the place, aren't there? Yeah. And there is a big hole going right through it with a part that kind of sticks inwards here and a part that sticks outward on this side. So what we have here is something that's heavier than it looks. It's made out of a material that's smooth for the most part with some prickly areas. It sticks out in strange spots all over it. There's a big hole and has a part that bumps out and another part that pokes in. So, can you guess what this week's item is? If you'd like to guess for yourself, you can stop the video here and come back later. But if you want to know the answer right now, you can stay tuned because I'm going to tell you in 3, 2, 1. So, do you know what this week's mystery item is? This is a piece of bone, a special type of bone called a vertebra. Vertebrae are the bones that make up our spine, that long column of bones that goes down our backs. The collection of bones together are called vertebrae. Creatures that have vertebrae are known as vertebrates. So we are vertebrates because we have that spine going down our back. But so are dogs, cats, birds, and fishes, just to name a few. Now, creatures that don't have vertebrae are known as invertebrates. These are animals like octopus, worms, and insects. But what's the point of this thing and why does it look so funny? Well, a vertebra actually helps to protect and support a very special part of your body called the spinal cord. The spinal cord is the thick bundle of nerves that moves from our brains all the way down our spine. Additional smaller bundles of nerves flare out from the spinal cord and go throughout your whole body, sending and receiving signals to and from the brain. These signals tell our bodies to move, control how our bodies work, and react to the world around us. When you want to lift your hand, your brain sends a signal down the spinal cord to the nerves that run to your arm, and that signal says, lift your hand. And when the muscles get that signal, they lift the hand. Your spinal cord can also react to things without fully engaging your brain. So let's say we touch something that's hot, and we quickly pull our hands away, don't we? We don't want to get burnt. It hurts. Well, what happens is when we touch something hot, the fingers send out through the nerves a signal going, hot, 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 hot. And that goes straight to the spinal cord. And the spinal cord's going, whoa, I don't have time to send this to the brain. I need to move those fingers away right now. So they send a signal back saying, move, move, move. And your fingers move away from something that's hot. This is called a reflex. And as I said, this is done in situations where there might be danger and we just don't have time to fully engage the brain. So it's an automatic response. We don't even have to think about it. So the spinal cord is pretty important to most creatures. We need it to actually get the signals from our brain throughout our body so we can do things, work our bodies, and help to keep us safe. The thing is, the spinal cord is very delicate. If something happens to your spinal cord, well, parts of your body may not respond. This is what happens when someone's been paralyzed. That area of the spinal cord has received so much damage that the signals from the brain can no longer go beyond that point. And unlike our skin, which if we receive a cut will heal itself, nerves don't heal too well. So to protect this delicate bundle of nerves that goes from our brain, down our spine, we have the vertebra. And as we look here, remember that big hole we have here in the middle? That is where your spinal cord goes through. So that bundle of nerves actually sits right snug inside of this little hole here. And as we can see, it's nice and protected because all around on the top and the sides and the bottom is solid bone. And this is tough bone. So this bone can withstand pressure. So if you put pressure on it, squeeze it really hard, it's not going to snap easily. And if we were to hit it, it's still going to hold up pretty good. So this is a good set of protection for our spinal cord. You can even say it acts as a suit of armor to try and stop those delicate nerves from getting damaged easily. But if we look at the bottom of the vertebra here, it looks a little weird, right? There's a lot more weight on the bottom than there is on the top. And that's because the bottom is doing something else. This part here is used to help support the body. So with us humans, it helps us to stand upright. So this part that bumps out here would be merged with another vertebra back that sticks in. And there'd be a soft squishy disc in between that would stop friction. So ligaments going through, attaching everything, and these two working together like a pivot makes it so that we can actually twist and move and bend and do all kinds of interesting movements, all while still protecting that delicate spinal column inside here that we need to keep safe. So now, as we're looking at those vertebrae in that picture here, we're noticing they look different than this one, don't they? Yeah, they're more flat on the bottom, and they don't have these weird extra fins sticking out. Well, the reason for that is because this is not a human vertebra. This is from an American bison, which is a big, huge animal that stands on 4 feet. It's a quadruped, whereas we who stand on 2 feet are bipedal. And because of the way it stands, it needs extra support on the bottom to protect and allow for movement because it moves differently than we do. And it also carries its weight differently than we do. In fact, if you were to look online at pictures of different vertebrae from different animals, you'll see that certain ones look slightly different. They're all modified to how that animal moves and needs protection, but they're all going to have this little hole in here to protect that spinal column. Thank you for joining me this week on What Is It Wednesday. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about spines and the unique bones that make them up. I will see you next week when we look at another interesting find from nature and see if we can guess what it is. Until then, happy exploring and stay curious. Bye, everyone.